This is Nightline. Tonight, Pamela Smart fighting for her freedom. After more than 30 years behind bars, sentenced to life for orchestrating the murder of her husband by her teenage lover and his friends. The case was the inspiration for the Nicole Kidman movie To Die For.
Did you get the gun?
Yeah.
We talked about your taking full responsibility for your husband's death.
What happened in court today, plus under arrest, the controversial media influencers and kings of the manosphere, Andrew and Tristan Tate, taken into custody by federal marshals.
Tristan, anything to say?
Facing extradition to the UK on charges of rape and sex trafficking. What their brother's new accusers are saying tonight. And Tom Holland returning to the Spider Universe. Once again, sharing the screen with Zendaya.
You two don't know each other?
No, I'm a neighbor.
Friendly neighbor?
What he says about their real-life romance.
Huh. It's gonna be like that. You wanna go?
Will he be back as Spider-Man?
I have this real hunger and desire to kind of shepherd whoever is lucky enough to play this character next through that process.
And the new role he's excited to play. Plus, meet Jimothy, the scrappy Seattle hometown hero, lighting up the internet. From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. It was a case that shocked and riveted the nation. One of the first to be televised gavel to gavel. Pamela Smart, the young widow, then in her early 20s, convicted of enticing her teenage boyfriend to murder her husband. Now a judge is considering whether Smart's latest bid for freedom should go ahead. Here's my Nightline co-anchor, Juju Chang.
Good morning to all of you.
Pam Smart, the woman convicted of having her underage lover and his friends kill her husband in 1990.
So this case has been quite well reviewed.
In court today, pleading for a new trial.
We're not asking should we or will we win the matter, but could we? So do we sufficiently establish grounds?
Smart, who's serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole in New York State, appeared by video but didn't speak.
I understand the petitioner is on WebEx. Is that correct?
Her team filed a habeas corpus petition in January, arguing her conviction should be overturned, claiming constitutional violations. The state of New Hampshire, where the murder occurred, disagrees and filed to dismiss.
We're going to start with the jurisdictional argument, and then we'll proceed with the state's motion to dismiss.
Today's hearing is notable. It's the first time in 35 years that Smart and her team have gotten this far. All her previous attempts at appeals or a new trial have been shut down. Every attempt at clemency or mercy parole rejected.
You're not anybody in America unless you're on TV.
Her case has fascinated America for decades. It served as the inspiration for the Nicole Kidman film To Die For, starring a young Joaquin Phoenix as her underage student lover.
Did you get the gun?
Yeah.
In real life, Smart always denied knowing anything about the plot. Everyone else involved has been paroled. She remains the only one still behind bars. I spoke to Smart earlier this year after the new petition had been filed, and she was waiting to hear if it would proceed.
You've been through many appeals processes. Your new lawyer is arguing that your constitutional rights were violated.
They were.
During trial, and that you didn't get a fair trial.
I did not.
In 1990, Smart worked for the school district as a media coordinator. At 22, she was accused of convincing her 15-year-old lover, Billy Flynn, and some of his friends to kill her husband, Greg.
We often hear of the O.J. Simpson double murder trial as being the trial of the century. Well, guess what? Pamela Smart's case was the very first murder trial to ever be televised, gavel to gavel.
Smart's new team says some of the evidence at trial was misleading, like transcripts of secret audio recordings of conversations involving Smart, which were provided to the jury.
But when you tell someone what they're hearing, you set this expectation-induced bias, and they will hear it.
Did you realize that that transcription was made by somebody who was working in the prosecutor's office?
I had absolutely no idea. It's so biased. It's like asking my mother to write the transcript or something. Come on, that's crazy.
Did you recognize the words that were in that transcription?
Well, some of them, yes, but I said to my lawyer, like, there's big pieces missing out of this. There's things I remember saying that are not here at all. The way it comes out on paper, it doesn't account for any overlapping voices. And so I did, from the very beginning, say, hey, there's something wrong with these. These are not accurate.
Do you think the tapes were doctored?
Yes, I know they were.
In what way?
I know that things I said didn't end up on the tapes. And I know that conversations were enhanced or tampered with.
We told Smart we took copies of the tapes she said were doctored to an audio expert. He told us there were irregularities, but they could be from bad equipment. No sign of deliberate doctoring or erasures.
And this was the key piece of evidence against you.
Huge. It was, and according to my own jury, it was the piece that made them convict me.
To win a habeas petition on something like this, the audio would have to literally be the opposite of what it was. Nuances in the audio on an issue that has already been litigated and appealed is not going to lead to Pam Smart being set free.
Our position is there are no facts supporting the claims made by petitioner. Habeas corpus is not a substitute for appeal.
Believe in fundamental fairness and equity. No one should be sitting in a life without parole sentence where the conviction did result from untrue or inaccurate evidence.
So this is a motion.
The judge won't decide if there's a retrial, at least not yet. First, he will decide whether Smart's team even deserves a hearing to present their evidence. He's expected to rule in the next 30 to 60 days.
Our thanks to Juju. You can see more of the Pamela Smart story in The Widow and the Wiretap, streaming now on Disney Plus and Hulu. And now to the stunning arrest this weekend of the controversial Manosphere influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate. The brothers now facing extradition to the UK, where they're wanted on dozens of counts of rape and sex trafficking. They've always denied any wrongdoing, and their lawyer says this is all politically motivated. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo.
Mr. Tate, would you mind signing?
Controversial social media influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate appearing in court today following their dramatic arrest by U.S. Marshals in Miami.
Tristan, anything to say?
The brothers were taken into custody on their way to a bare-knuckled boxing event Saturday night. Their arrest following British police announcing dozens of new charges against them over the weekend after 4 new alleged victims came forward. The new allegations include rape, sex trafficking, and offenses related to extreme pornography and indecent images of a child.
The charges relate to 7 victims spanning a period from 2010 to 2017.
Andrew Tate gained notoriety for amplifying the so-called manosphere online communities that can promote toxic masculinity and misogyny. Tate sharing his views on the podcast Anything Goes with James English.
I will state right now that I am absolutely sexist and I'm absolutely a misogynist. And I have you money and you can't take it away.
In an interview with Piers Morgan, Tate described his views on women.
I believe the woman is given to the man. I believe she's given away by the father. I believe she belongs to the man.
The brothers were arrested back in 2022 in Romania on charges of rape, human trafficking, and sexual exploitation. That case stalled, and last year, the brothers were allowed to leave the country. In 2024, my colleague Patrick Ravel spoke with one of Andrew Tate's accusers in a separate civil case, who we called Evie to protect her identity.
And that was when the incident happened. So we were having sex, and he strangled me until I passed out. And then when I came back around, he was still having sex with me while I'd been passed out.
What was going through your mind?
I was really scared. I didn't really know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to die or, I didn't really know. It was quite scary.
In 2024, Tate's spokesperson said Andrew vehemently denies these accusations and does not condone violence of any kind towards women. In response to their arrest, a lawyer representing Evie and 3 other women in the separate civil lawsuit told ABC News, Andrew and Tristan Tate are accused of some of the most serious offenses, including multiple counts of rape and human trafficking. It is time they face justice.
Andrew and Tristan are innocent. They've never done nothing wrong.
The Tate brothers, who have been vocal supporters of President Trump and his sons, have repeatedly denied any wrongdoing, their lawyer calling the new charges a politically motivated attack.
It's garbage. It's a stitch-up job. They're after us.
A federal judge will decide whether they will be extradited to the UK. The brothers are due in court again next week.
Victor, thank you. Tonight, the real cost of war is being brought into focus again. Just hours ago, the Pentagon released the names of the young service members killed in weekend strikes by Iran. And now President Trump is vowing revenge. It's day 143 of the war with Iran. Martha Raddatz reports tonight from Amman, Jordan.
This is the moment Iranian missiles struck a U.S. base here in Jordan, killing multiple soldiers. Video circulating online appearing to show massive explosions. One missile striking a housing container unit, according to sources, although it is unclear whether that is where the fatalities occurred. Tonight, U.S. Central Command identifying 2 of the soldiers killed, the youngest, 19-year-old Private Isabella Gonzalez of Texas, and 25-year-old First Lieutenant Tyler Feehan of Hawaii. Officials say human remains found are likely those of a 3rd missing service member, still unidentified. And in Iraq, where Iran has unleashed a relentless missile and drone assault, the U.S. says an additional U.S. service member was killed during the controlled detonation of a downed Iranian attack drone. President Trump vowing retaliation, warning Iran will pay many times over for every American soldier killed. And tonight, the U.S. launching new attacks on Iranian military targets for the 10th straight day. The U.S. strikes on Iran, targeting Iran's Revolutionary Guard, believed to be responsible for the attacks on American troops. Iran has launched attacks across the region, targeting both Kuwait and Bahrain, raising questions among some military experts about Iran's capabilities, despite the administration saying the Iranian military was decimated.
Potentially, the Iranians are changing their tactics. They could be using more advanced ballistic missiles, some that maneuver upon re-entry, thus making it more difficult for Patriot to intercept them.
An official telling ABC News U.S. fighter jets stationed in the United Kingdom and Germany are now being sent to the Middle East.
Our thanks to Martha, and on behalf of a grateful nation, to those service members who paid their full measure for our country. When we come back, we switch gears to Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland. What he loves about his new film and the new role he can't wait to do. Why he's taking dancing lessons now. It's been more than a decade since Tom Holland joined the Spider-Man universe. And while he once suggested he would not want the role after he turned 30, well, things have changed. GMA's George Stephanopoulos recently sat down with him.
Can I just fix your shirt?
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Tom Holland, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
We ready?
He's continuing his stellar run as Peter Parker in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
The new movie for me is something that I am incredibly proud of. But then it came with this added layer of pressure of, should we do it again?
Well, and you were a little hesitant, right?
I was hesitant because I would describe myself as a fan first when it comes to the MCU and Spider-Man. And I was really keen to make sure that we made a movie for the right reasons rather than just, these movies are doing really well, let's churn out another one. It wasn't until I really sat down with Destin, our director, and he pitched me ideas of how he wanted to make a more personal story, that I really felt like we were investing in the character in a way that the fans would really respond to.
And you invested in it as well. You went right into the writer's room.
Yeah, they let me into the writer's room, and it was a fascinating experience. And I was so lucky that, you know, I guess I didn't realize the power I have as Spider-Man, because I would pitch an idea, go away for a week, come back, and they'd be like, here's your idea.
You didn't realize that? You're the star.
No, I always just, you know, I'm always like pinching myself that like, God, I'm lucky that I'm doing this. And there's a large portion of this movie, there's a big kind of moment that is my brother's idea.
Wow.
He came up with this idea that I went into the studio the next day and pitched as his idea. I did not take credit for it. But also I said that because I was worried it was a bad idea. And they were like, oh yeah.
You talk about being a fan first, and you really tuned in to what the fans were
looking for in this film, didn't you?
It was something that was really important to me, was to spend the time online and really understand what it was the fans were kind of looking for in the character.
Huh, it's gonna be like that, you wanna go?
And then I could bring some of the Easter eggs and stuff that I had seen online that fans really wanted. Because at the end of the day, they are who we make these movies for. These characters are such a large part of people's lives. They really love these characters. They feel like they're a part of this universe.
I didn't know you could get that big.
You turned 30 last month.
Right.
A few years ago, you said if you were still doing Spider-Man at the age of 30, you were doing something wrong. I'm sure you've gotten a lot of heat for that, but I think you beat it. You filmed it before you were 30.
That's very true. Do you know what? I think that's probably a statement of a naive young kid who, you know, at the time, the idea of turning 30 felt like a lifetime away. And, you know, I've never taken this character for granted, and I think there's a large part of that statement that was, I have this real hunger and desire to kind of shepherd whoever is lucky enough to play this character next through that process. Downey did that for me, on set and off set, and I don't want to hold on to this character. I don't want to overstay my welcome.
And you said that this summer really feels like you're starting the next chapter of your life, and you're really starting it with a bang. You've had such a huge year, both personally and professionally. Congratulations on all that. What are you hoping for next?
Just more challenges. I now feel like I'm starting this chapter where I can't quite get away with being a teenager anymore. And for me, what I love about my job is the challenges. You know, we have Fred Astaire next, is what we're, you know, planning on doing. And as soon as I finish with these tours, I'm diving back into the dance studio. And I did my first few rehearsals recently, and it both filled me with excitement and absolute dread, because I've got so much work to do to try and do Fred proud.
What does it mean to do Fred proud?
I have a desire to use no doubles, to do all of the dancing, to shoot those dances in one shot, how he would have done it.
Your family always knew you were going to be a dancer. I guess your father wrote about it in his book. Tell us the Janet Jackson story. Is she really the inspiration?
The Janet Jackson story is essentially, she had a song that when I was a kid, I was just obsessed with it. And if that song played, I would bounce along to the song in the rhythm of the song.
Wow.
Saturday street dance class, you know, all throughout our childhood, and that led to an audition, and that audition led to Billy Elliot, and that led to me getting an agent. So without my mum seeing that rhythm, so I owe it all to Janet and my mum. Janet and Nikki.
Holland, once again sharing the screen with Zendaya.
You two don't know each other? No, I'm a neighbor.
Friendly neighbor?
The couple appearing in not one, but two summer blockbusters.
You say she is the best actress out there.
I truly believe so. I've seen her work for the last 10 years, and she is absolutely fearless with the way that she takes on characters. She has this unique ability to completely go the distance without characters becoming caricatures. And there are only few actors that can really do that. And I love her work ethic. I love her passion. She's really showing everyone up in the business.
As are you. Congratulations.
Thank you so
an
much.
amazing year. Thanks for coming.
Nice to see you, George.
Our thanks to George. Spider-Man Brand New Day opens in theaters July 30th. When we come back, you've probably seen him popping up in your feed. The Seattle raccoon that fans call Jimothy. What's behind his unusual appearance? Finally, a tiny Seattle raccoon has become an internet star. It's tonight's Nightlight.
What am I looking at?
Meet Jimothy, and he's not like any other gray bandit that you've probably ever seen. He appears to suffer from a spinal deformity that accounts for his shape and size, but it doesn't appear to be slowing him down. He's the subject of viral memes. He was even honored at a Mariners game. Proof that being different can be something to celebrate. And that's Nightline for this evening. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.